live.
Hey,
Welcome,
everybody.
Amalia and Natalia Karmic Kindness with Madeline Parker
Hello.
with a new background, today. It's always good. It'll be fun to see what Madeline shows us each cosmic chat as we go forward. Maybe this will be her normal background. We shall see.
I doubt I'll ever be normal because I'm having too much fun coming up with creative ideas.
We'll have all sorts of different options.
Yeah.
Okay, so today is a little bit of an interesting day. We're going to mix things up a little bit. I'm traveling. Madeline has a very packed schedule today, and I don't have my flower cards with me, and I almost didn't have my laptop. I don't have my mic. I mean, there's all sorts of things happening. So we're going to keep this cosmic chat for the Gemini new moon on the shorter and sweeter side. So we are still going to go over all 10 signs. I do not have my flower cards, so unfortunately, I'll not be able to give a flower reading for this particular moon cycle. I will, however, so everyone stay tuned to my social media channels, because I will be sharing the Gemini new moon flower on those channels. And then I will also update it on this page for those of you who watch this later, but I'm just not going to be able to share it with you all live. Okay, so for our very unique and different cosmic chat for this Gemini new moon, which is kind of makes sense. You know, Gemini is a little bit, you know, it's a mental energy. I'm definitely feeling that mental activity is amping up for me.
And it's
There's
mutable.
yeah, you got to adapt, change, adapt, work with what shows up. So that's what we're doing. We're just making the most of this. This Gemini new moon occurs on May 26th at 11:02 p.m. Eastern, 8:02 p.m. Pacific at 6 degrees 5 minutes. So I'm going to jump into, I do have the impact chart,
Oh,
which
cool.
I think is helpful for folks to see. So I'm going to show you all who will be impacted with this particular new moon the most. We are talking the mutable signs between 1 and 15 degrees of Gemini, Sag, Virgo, Pisces. So if you have any points or planets between 1 degree and 15 degrees of, here we go, Gemini down here, Sag up here, Pisces to the left here, and Virgo to the right, you will feel the impact of this moon cycle significantly. There are other areas too, but just to focus on the moon for this cosmic chat, take a quick peek and see for you what is there. All right. Gemini is related to the respiratory system, breath, your hands, your arms, your shoulders, also the blood exchange system, like capillaries in your body, which I think is kind of interesting. If you think about Gemini as an exchange of ideas, you're exchanging information within the body. So just an awareness of that, kind of fun to see the body connections and then also the cosmic connection. There is a lot of activity with the moon in this go round. We have, obviously, with every new moon, the sun and the moon are conjunct. They're at the same degree as each other. So when you think about Gemini, I think about Gemini as relating to communication, our mind, and that's our perceptions, our ability to take in information. Mental agility is also a keynote here, where it's like, okay, some information comes in, and can you be agile and kind of shift and work with what's coming in? We talked about this already, about being adaptable. And then the other piece of this too, which I think very much resonates with the new moon, is being able to take in or gather information now in order to make future plans. So what information is coming in for you right now that might be a little bit unique and different, because I'll be sharing Uranus's impact here, that can help you set an intention or forge a new path forward for yourself. We also have the moon conjunct Mercury. Now, Mercury has a big impact on this too, because Mercury is has a lot to do with like communication and the mind as well. So we're going to have this sense of curiosity, and eagerness to learn, to be able to gain a new perspective. I'm sure Madeline is going to be talking more about this as she shares. And then we also have, and this is it depends on the orb that you use for the conjunction of Uranus out of sign in Taurus. They're 8 degrees apart. So I would say there is an impact, maybe not as strong as if it were a tighter orb, but I feel like there's a powerful catalyst here for change, again, for your personal growth that requires you to adapt. I feel like that's very pronounced right now. Uranus brings a sense of change or innovation, which may disrupt that Taurus sense of stability and security. So it encourages you to think outside the box in order to find a new place to feel that sense of security and stability. And I know for me, with all the traveling that I'm doing and not having a home, quote unquote, home right now, I definitely feel that sense of security and stability being shaken and having to find a new ways to feel secure. Also I have a moon in Taurus. So for me, this is really uncomfortable, like not having my own space, which is why I don't have some of the things that I needed for today. Okay, 2 more aspects I want to just touch in on. We have the moon is sextile Neptune in Aries. Be aware of your dreams right now. You'll be sensitive to your dreams. I was actually had breakfast with a couple of girlfriends this morning, and we were all talking about how our dream world has really gotten amped up. And use these dreams as a catalyst to a new approach to life, to the direction that you're heading. Neptune in Aries, that's a big deal, a big shift. And then finally, the moon trine Pluto in Aquarius. Again, Aquarius is that very mental, yet outside the box kind of thinking. So we're really being encouraged to shift how we perceive things, our perspective on things. It's a very transformative Pluto energy. It will, and the moon being a part of this too will enhance emotional depth and intuition. And it's a great time for self-analysis. So really like taking a deeper dive into yourself. And this is also a really great time for journaling. So if you're not a journaling type person, maybe this is a time you could dabble a little bit if you are so inspired, because it's a great opportunity for you to get some ideas out of your head and onto the page. You can even share with a friend, having that form of communication to help you be able to anchor in a new perspective as we go forth in this moon cycle. It's just, to me, as I reflect on what is showing up, it's a really potent and powerful time for all of us to shift the way we think about things, to adapt to these very quickly changing times. And I'm going to pop in the gene key here because this also connects with what we're talking about here. And thusly becoming a master of our lives, a master of our minds, if you will. We have gene key 16 with the shadow of indifference, the gift of versatility, and the city, SIDDHI, of mastery. So this is what you can contemplate this week, if you so choose. And I will be sharing more about this gene key on my social media channels. And I will also link a video below where you can learn more about these gene keys and why I'm talking about them here. So contemplate, where does indifference to life, people, or circumstances creep in for you? And how can the gift of versatility shift your perspective and ultimately lead to mastery in your interpersonal relationships? Big, broad questions, but ones that I think will be really, really helpful as we begin our contemplation and exploration during this new moon in Gemini. And then there is something called the Pulse that is on the Gene Keys website. If you want to learn more about that, I'll share some information will be in the video that I share. This is what Richard Rudd shares this week. This is a great week to break out of an old indifferent pattern and launch yourself into the versatility of your soul. I freaking love that when we're thinking about a new moon in Gemini. Break out of an old pattern and launch yourself into the versatility of your soul. So that is that is the gene key that I feel it's happening on the day of the Gemini new moon. I feel it's like so on point with what we are being invited to step into. And Madeline, what are your thoughts?
Well, that's interesting because Mercury, this is a Mercury ruled full moon, and I am deep in study right now on Hermes principles and the seven Hermetic principles.
Yeah.
And the first one is mentalism. And one of the interesting things is that astrology really initiated through Hermes, who is Mercury. I don't know if he's a real person or not, it might be, but the ancient writings in astrology come from this man Hermes, who is considered to be Mercury, the messenger of the gods. And Mercury is the fastest planet, shoots around the solar system in 88 days. It connects with all the other planets. It's very chatty, it meets with the solar sun, the solar system, which is the higher mind, the divine, the God, right? Sun is the God. And so Mercury is always connecting with the God and always getting a message from the God and then taking it around to everybody and making sure everybody hears the message of the God. And Hermes is higher mind, not lower mind. Higher. So it's about, it was a sacred science. They considered astrology astrotheology, uh, astrologic. Logos is thinking, the thought, and the knowledge. Astro is the light, and God. So astrology is the knowledge of the science of God. So it's basically the science of the light. So it was considered a sacred science. So the whole point of astrology and the whole point of Mercury was that it would bring us to our higher mind. We would get a higher message, and Mercury's connecting with the solar sun, which is God, which is the divine mind, and the higher perspective. It's bringing us the picture of the trees, the forest rather than the trees. Even though it is a detailed oriented type of it's a micro rather than the macro, we are going to have a full moon in Sagittarius, which is the macro. That's going to be in June, early June. So, bottom line, this is a very powerful new moon because Jupiter is about to move into Cancer. We're about to have Uranus move into the sign of Gemini. So we're looking at these very auspicious new beginnings that are, like you said, different, pop my notes up, different mentality completely.
Yeah.
New paradigm because we've got Saturn. Should I pop the chart? Why don't I pop the
Sure. Yeah.
chart?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because we're going to have Saturn here on this new moon squaring. Saturn's going to just listen. All the planets are in masculine yang. This is a yang masculine new moon. This is
Oh,
an
wow. I didn't
Yeah,
notice that,
all the
Madeline.
planets are yang except for Uranus and the North Node and the South Node. So it's really we're really looking at inspired, new ideas, innovation. Um, um, where's my notes? Let me get those notes out again. I work on my notes more now. Multitasking, connection, social. It's very social. It's media, new beginnings in media projects, writing, um, new inventions, we said new ideas, because Jupiter and Gemini has been expanding our minds. We've been wanting to learn things. We've been opening our minds. A lot of communication around spirituality. Spirituality really is the true new way to go. It's going to bring us out of the dark energies, and a lot of communication, busy talking, the opposite of all those Piscean energies when all these planets were in Pisces. In fact, our our pod thing today is so typical new moon Gemini. You're really busy. You're a short distance traveling. I've been getting all kinds of ideas, new ideas, and basically Jupiter is in Gemini, so this is Dharma. This means it's our Dharma, but again, it's in an air energy, which represents our desires, what we want to achieve, what it's like, what inspires us. It is
Mhm.
also a relationship energy because Gemini is ruled by the lovers, and it is very much a collaborative energy, communication. You can't just talk, can't just do things in isolation by yourself anymore with this third house energy of Gemini, where you're around people, busy, new neighbors, new friendships, new connections, business associates, media projects. So basically, Mercury new moon wants us to initiate new beginnings that bring us into the higher mind. that bring us into the Hermetic wisdom. And all things, if you look at the second book of the Bible, the Second Testament, the first word in that is the logos, is the beginning. The mind is the top chakra. Our idea, the mind, the thought given to us by the higher realm, by the way, by the higher dimensions. The ideas come from somewhere outside of us, yang energy. We are
Mm-hmm.
impregnated with it. We are inspired by it, by a higher realm, an electrical source. It's very electric energy, right, Gemini? So there's some sort of electrical download, communication gives us ideas that will enable us to walk on our dharmic path, clarity. And again, this is bold. We've got all these energies in yang. We've got Leo, Mars, drive energy. Mercury is in the sign of Gemini, so it means it's extremely blessed. I mean, the ruler of the new moon in a really positive energy means this is very positive. All new moons are positive new beginnings, but this is super assisted, quick moving, things happening. There's no blockages other than the fact that Saturn's going to come in and square Jupiter here on that full moon coming up. But we are building a Saturn square, but I'll talk about that later. It's a bit of a downer, but it's okay. I don't know how much it's going to um, restrict things when Jupiter is in exaltation and Saturn is in fall, because Saturn is fall in Aries. But Saturn has just moved into Aries. We're starting brand new beginnings. Don't forget that's another fired, inspired energy. So now the other thing that's happening is Jupiter is squaring the nodes. So we're having to change course, make new decisions. We're having to go back and redo something. For instance, that could be what we initiate on this new moon. For instance, say you let me think of an idea. Like, say, like, for instance, I'll use me for an example. I want to move to Italy. Basically, the North Node is where we want to get. I really have always had a dream to move to Italy or at least live a good chunk of the year there, right? So, so the square nodes, like, I'm going to have to make a plan to make that to enable that to happen. I have to, so I've got all these ideas going, and this new moon, Jupiter, is about travel and going around and expanding our knowledge, expanding our experiences. And so from to get there to move to Italy, I've got to really arrange and re-strategize. And so this new moon is coming up with new strategies, new ways, new ideas for how to get to that North Node. And so that's what's going to happen here. Because if it's so a skip step when the nodes are crossing, what can happen is you miss a step. So if I wanted to get to Italy, I've got to go back and replan something. I've got to maybe do something different to get me situated to that. So in other words, the nodes are making you either go back and it's not a retrograde energy. It's a I skipped that step energy. Like I've got to
Mhm.
go back and do this and get a visa or whatever. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be more of I want to be a, what do you call it? Internet nomad, digital nomad.
Yeah, uh-huh,
So
uh-huh.
yeah. So anyway, basically, there's things you have to do. So now you get that clarity, and that's where you want to head. So you got to go back and replan something and go back, or you're skipping a step. You're going further ahead, and you're moving more towards your dharma really quickly here. But things are definitely quick. I'm already feeling it. I can really feel the Gemini sun right now. It's Gemini sun. Everything's in Gemini. All these planets, Jupiter, the moon, the sun, Mercury, so like busy, mind racing. We want to be careful with that. That's why we got the
Mhm.
South Node squaring Jupiter. We want to calm the mind down, keep your mind in that Pisces, down, open, receiving downloads. We've got that beautiful kite going to Saturn, pointing to Saturn there. That's going to be happening with the external planets pretty much for the whole year, which is extremely blessed. And by the way, I'm going to risk it here and say that I think we're going to break through here with a really good economy.
Interesting.
Take a risk and say that because of this particular new moon and the angles to it, and Mercury being in a really positive place, and then Jupiter going into Cancer here with a Sagittarius full moon. I mean, things are going to be much better in general. But then when we've got that Saturn squared to Jupiter, usually things are blocked during that. But after that, and then the sun is combust because sun's going to come up to Jupiter and combust it. So I would say like a couple weeks to mid-June to end of June, we're going to really feel better. Like we're feeling really excited about these new beginnings. They're really starting to see a future. We're no longer in this in-between. Am I going to live? Am I going to make it past this in-between void, you know?
Well, I do know that Bitcoin hit $110,000. So that
That's
seems
better.
pretty significant. Now, granted, I don't know that it's real. You know, it's like one of those where I think sometimes people will pump money into the market to make it
Mhm.
seem like it's really inflated and then dump it, you know, pull their money out. So I don't know if that's maybe somewhat of what's going on, but the fact is that's never happened before.
Oh,
That's
interesting.
historically high. I think 2 years ago, there was talk that it would reach $100,000 in the next 10 to 20 years. And here we are 2 years later. So it's pretty remarkable that we're at that
Okay,
point.
that's good.
And it not only reached 100, it was 110. So
Wow.
I think that's significant. So I
Yep.
basically
Yep.
backing up what you're saying, at least in that
Yes.
particular market.
Yeah, but also I think the stocks are up. I think we're seeing some improvement in the stock market.
Mhm.
You know what? I have to be really honest and say that that Pluto trining Uranus for the rest of this, even when Uranus is in Gemini, is going to trine Pluto. I mean, that's just a great yoga. That's great. I mean, I can't go. I don't think people that are dooming and seeing big crashes, I don't think they're correct. I think if there is a crash, it's just old dead wood that's going.
Right.
We've got a strong, those are strong economical transits or say we say a structure. The outer planets, all in yang energies, creating a trine for the whole year. I mean, that's very blessed. We're protected by the angels. If you want to say it in a really kind of corny way. So I guess let's jump in, shall we?
Yeah,
Shall we do all
let's
the 12
let us.
signs? Yeah, because
So Aries, do you want, I don't know how you want to do it, Madeline. Do you want to hold up the card? Do you want to point to the,
I'll point, hold up the card, do
okay.
both. So Aries, so yeah, Gemini's in your third house. There, 1, 2, 3. That's why I like to do this, but maybe it's kind of goofy. 1, 2, 3, Gemini's. The whole reading, Gemini is going to be behind me. So anyway,
Oh, yeah.
Aries, Gemini, right? So that's your third house. So that's like extra fired and electric energy, movement, quick movement, busy, short distance traveling, writing, correspondence, emails, perhaps initiating a new media site, a new Instagram feed, a new writing project, collaborative, or a new relationship with someone in your vicinity, a neighbor, or a new partnership, relationship agreement, business idea, writing project idea, neighbors, friends. Um, what else would be short distance travel? That's a very busy energy. Um, this new moon is these new ideas and these new beginnings are a part of the new Aquarian age. So they're going to encompass all the themes of Aquarius, which is liberation, financial freedom, the new earth, the new age of Aquarius, where we're really technologically extremely advanced. Again, higher minded ideas that liberate humanity, liberating ideas. So, all these projects and these new initiations are going to be advancing humanity into the age of liberation, basically. So, that's Aries moving quickly today.
Yeah.
Am I jumping along or you're not going to say anything? I just jump out.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, like, I like what you were saying about the communication. Like, to me, it's also, I feel like Aries need to be careful because we do have all this masculine energy. Aries tend to be fiery and fired up. So I would say there would be a little caution in how they communicate with people, whether in the written word or like voice, like in conversation. There could be a tendency to get a little bit too heated or say something that they later wish that they could have reframed. So that would be that's kind of the only thing that was coming through for.
Yeah, and also be careful for accidents because you don't we unless you know your birth chart, and I don't know your birth chart, but if you have a moon there, or you have a planet squaring a Mercury in your fourth or something, you could be.
Yeah,
So, yes.
in general, yeah,
Shadow
just everyone slow down.
shadow aspect. Let's look into shadow aspect really quickly. Shadow aspect of all that would be really racing mind, negative thinking, stuck in the past with that square to the south node, negative thoughts. So you want to really watch your thinking in this new moon. You want to have really positive things because you're manifest super fast. Negative stuff, you're going to manifest it.
Yeah, in general, yeah, very, very true.
Yeah, very powerful mental. That's the first principle in the Hermetic wisdom is the mentalism. Everything is caused by the logos, the thought. The thought at the beginning is your initiation of it's how it starts. It all begins, right? So we want to be very pure in our thinking. Taurus. So Taurus, how am I doing this? I've suddenly lost my mythology, my method.
Methodology.
Yeah, so Taurus. Oh yes, 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 yes. I have my notes here. Hang on a minute. May, that's how I'm going to do it. May. Taurus. So yeah, it's in your second house. So Gemini's in your second house, right?
Yep,
No, it's in your 12th house. Yeah, it's your second house. Sorry, second house.
second, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so great. New beginning money, a very auspicious new beginning and a way to make money. Now it's going to involve media, social media. It's a higher minded idea. Again, this is your dharma. This is something in relation to what you're here to really do that raises quality of life for humanity. But again, really the more we operate from a place of spiritually helping humanity rise consciously and figuratively in the material realm, because the second house is the material realm. So it's some idea that brings more awareness around, because this is Taurus, so they're very health oriented, they're grounded. So so this is a new idea that literally makes you money. Let's just put it
Mhm.
this way. That feeds you. And it's going to involve expansion of the mind and higher minded, the Hermes principle. And remember, keeping the minds positive. And you can really manifest in this new moon very powerfully. You keep that thought consistent of what it is that you want this new moon to be about, how you want it to like I want it to travel. Let's say this new moon, you want to align your job and your work and your income in a way that you can travel. So that's like strategizing for this higher adventure or higher ideal. So for Taurus, this is a new financial beginning that makes you money, and could be media, social media. It could be that you get out and you find a way to make money directly online. And like some sort of like, let's say you've got a job and you've got another job going on the side where you can make money online, and then that frees you up. This is all about liberating us. These are new ideas that financially liberate us, that continue us on this journey that our Jupiter in the North Node has us on right now. So that's Taurus.
Yeah, I also feel this shift in the perspective of what we value and what we consider
Mhm.
valuable as
Yeah,
well. So, and that will come through the mind, the mental arena, and then that can then be translated into shifts and changes that you might make in your life, like ideas that come in around that as well.
right.
So,
Yeah, because I forget to mention that Chiron is sextiling Jupiter, so we're really healed. We're these new ideas we're not afraid anymore about taking risks and venturing out with these new ideas. Most likely, this new moon, these new ideas that come in, we can see pretty quickly that they're auspicious and they're going to bring expansion and abundance pretty early in on this process. I would say to the end of June, you'll feel like, wow, this is working out. Yay!
yay.
Yay!
All right, Gemini,
Gemini. So this is
that's
going to be
easy.
Gemini card, Gemini. This is in your first house, Gemini, in your first house. Wow. Okay. So you're going to be you could be feeling very nervous and energized and electric. So you're going to want to ground and calm down and stay grounded. But these are new beginnings, big time new beginnings in your life in some area that expands humanity. That this is an idea, business idea. Now these ideas can involve technologies too, don't forget, because Mercury is the lower Uranus, which is Aquarius, is the higher octave of Mercury, and that is the bigger picture, and then Mercury is a function of that, so they're connected. In fact, that's one of the principles in Hermes wisdom, is that polarities are actually the same thing. They're just different frequencies. They're different. Water is the same as mist. It's the same product as mist. It's just water is a more density of mist, you know. So anyway, this Mercury idea is technological media, a new ideas in media, writing, mind expansive opportunities. Again, Gemini is a yang energy. Opportunities can come to us. I keep getting that Page of Pentacles everywhere. Opportunities showing up in our lives too that liberate us, that create financial expansion. But Gemini, this, and don't forget Mercury's fun and light and easygoing and argumentative and debatey. And so these are new beginnings where these are progressive new ideas. That's the word I want to use, progressive.
Yeah.
Business, writing, media products, or relationship.
Yeah, I really love this energy for Geminis. However, I also feel like it's disruptive to the way they normally like to operate, and having this new moon energy and all of the other aspects to it might feel a little bit challenging, but yet also expansive. So it's almost like the discomfort is giving birth to a whole new way of being that might be uncomfortable at the time, but it's something that they're really being encouraged to step into as they go forward in their lives too, in that first house.
Yeah, and don't forget, a new moon in the first house, your identity changes, you change the way you look, you have a new version of yourself is reborn, basically.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Also, you'll be the most racy minded of all the people here.
And they're already kind of racy minded in general.
As it is, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Cancer.
Cancer, sun, moon, rising. Okay, you guys are ruled by the moon, so you usually do feel these lunations very strongly. So this, for Cancer, this new moon is in your, this new moon for Cancer is in your 12th house. So see, I want to travel. That's the whole thing. I'm starting to sort of strategize, new beginning, strategizing on ways I can become a digital nomad. And that's what, I love Italy. I just love Italy. I grew up in Italy. I lived there for like 6 years of my life growing up. So I got to go back. So that's this new moon for Capricorn, Cancer. New beginnings in the 12th house, either new ideas for traveling, new ideas for projects. Again, the 12th house is always can cover the whole chart, but new ideas because you've grown, because you're healed, that you feel like you can really launch into your true dharma, and you're really free of a lot of the baggage and karma clearing and stuff. I feel that way actually, because I've cleared a lot of karma from, see, Cancer, uh, there is Gemini in your 12th. So I've been following all these 12th house things that have
Yeah.
been happening in the last year. And I've been going through all this karma clearing with my ex-husband and taxes and stuff. So it's like now we're cleared, completely cleared. That's this whole new moon for everybody is really wrapped up. Plus we've got Saturn at that 29 degrees. I keep forgetting, did Saturn move into Aries yet? Did Saturn move in? Yes, Saturn is in Aries. So it's like we've really ended this. We really on a brand new start here. Brand new big start. So in a way, you're really just, Cancers are just really wrapping up an old karmic. We're just clearing out debris from our conscious psyche body and ready to really start completely new. And Jupiter's going to be in our first house soon, so we're going to be really ready to initiate. This new moon is very connected to the full moon in Sagittarius. I'll talk more about that next time. But with this new moon coming in, is initiating these new beginnings. Sagittarius is travel. Initiating new beginnings that are preparing us for when Jupiter moves into our first house, where we're really going to expand on this new idea even more.
Yeah, this feels like with Cancer in the 12th, I so agree with you. It's like taking all of what you've learned. Anytime you have a new moon, or a full moon for that matter, in the 12th house, you really are integrating all the lessons from all 12 signs. So what I'm hearing for Cancerians is that this would be a really ideal time for them to sit with their thoughts, sit with their feelings, kind of the combination of the two, and they may be different, and bring them together to integrate the lessons, and then take that information as you go forth, planting the seeds of this new moon for your future, for the next cycle, because now it's resetting. It's coming. The next time it'll be in the first house, so it's a shift. The next moon cycle. So to me, this feels like a really prime opportunity to be with the thoughts and be with the feelings and merge the two, anchor them in, and take that information to go forth to start anew
Yeah.
when it's your new moon time.
Yeah, I think we've done a lot of introspective now. I think we're ready for like action. We've done a lot of
Every
healing, a
time.
lot of introspective, Mars in Cancer, squaring Chiron. We've all done a lot of this inside work now, which is great. But with Saturn in Aries, I mean, it's go time.
Yeah. Now, here's a
Saying
question.
that with like holding my rein back. I want to gallop into travel or whatever.
Now, do you know, so for you, you already know what that is for you. It's the travel part of it.
Pretty much. But
Yeah.
also, I would say a lot of clarity, a lot of feeling clear, because this is a Gemini new moon. So if it's in your 12th house, you're getting a lot of mental cleaning. You're cleaning the crap in your head.
Okay.
You're
Uh-huh.
cleaning out all this junky thinking, and it comes through in waves. You can feel the negative thoughts just flow in, and you just chop it out. Like, no, that's not where I'm headed. Because you
Mhm.
really, on this new moon, you want to focus on what you want 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What about those Leos?
Fire up, Leos. You guys have a fire trine with Saturn in your. Oh, where's Saturn coming in for Leo? Saturn is going into your ninth house, travel energy. Um, that's a fire trine with Leo Mars. Eventually they're going to have a trine. So the fire signs are being really blessed by Mars right now. And then when Saturn is there trining your signs, which really helps, square Saturns are more challenging. So this is really positive for Leo. So Leo, this is going to be in your 11th house, right?
Yep.
So the 11th house, wow. Oh my gosh. So the 11th house is an Aquarius energy, right? This is where all the houses work, but when you change the ascendant, it changes the sign over the house, but the house stays the same. So the energy of the 11th house is the energy of Aquarius, which is technologies, media, servicing is helping humanity liberate humanity, goals, long distance dreams and goals, a tribe, meeting new people that really, and by the way, these are fast energies. These are quick moving, not like the Taurus new moon. This is like go, fly, fire, meeting new people and happening right away, going quickly. Um, New podcasts, new media projects. Could be a passion project with that Mars in your whatever house it's in, because I'm doing it different here. Mars is in your first house. What am I taught thinking? Mars is in your first house. Wow. Very good. You're going to be very inspired there isn't going to be a Mars trine Saturn this round, but when it comes around, it will. But very inspired new beginnings that fire you up, that are very much coming from a very authentic place in you. This is some idea that comes in, perhaps from somebody else, perhaps an opportunity comes in to offer you a new beginning, or you're really inspired to start something new, media, all these things, Gemini, that we're talking about, writing, but also perhaps your mind just opens up really big and suddenly you go, wow, there's so many options. I wasn't looking at all these options. I can see all these new ways. These ideas in this new moon with all Mercury in Gemini, the sun in Gemini, the moon and Jupiter. I mean, we're really going to be going bing, 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 bing in our brain. So a lot of like exciting new options. You almost might not know what to choose, but the one that you're most excited about will bubble to the top. But we're really seeing auspicious new beginnings, new ideas, some kind of solution to a media and a struggle in somewhere. All these new moons always are solutions to a struggle. They end a struggle. They're like, ah, the solution. So this could be really good for Leos. Very good
I
for
love
you.
that.
Yeah.
Ah, the solution.
hmm This is going to work. That's how this new moon is going to feel.
Yeah, I also feel like with the 11th house, there there's also maybe a shift in perspective when it comes to a tribe or a friends group. You know, maybe you've been part of a group that hasn't felt quite right, or there's been a mismatch or a misalignment in some way, that, or a perceived one, and now all of a sudden you realize, oh wait, it isn't what I thought it was. It is this, it's something else. I just wasn't seeing it clearly. Or the other way around, maybe you were seeing something in one light and now you're seeing it another, and that may shift who you are associated with, who you spend your time with. Either confirming a group that you're involved in, a friends group, or will confirm it's time for you to exit a particular
Yeah.
group or tribe of people.
I'm going with this new moon not being as much of an ending thing, although it could be within the South Node in Virgo as more of a meeting new people, meeting
More
because
aligned people, maybe.
yeah, yeah, or meeting, like for instance, somebody sees a post and they see you as a potential for another idea and they come forward through media. But I would say
Okay. Okay.
that you're a new beginning involving meeting new people, because oftentimes the 11th house, you meet new clients, new tribe, new work related partnerships, colleagues, work colleagues, networking. Because this is a positive new moon. I don't listen, whatever we're releasing right now around this new moon, we've been working on for a while. So we're already releasing this big. So, and by the way, with the South Node, it is a Mercury South Node ruled by ruled by Mercury, ruled by this new moon. That South Node is ruled by this new moon. So yeah, we're releasing things, but we're already in process of this release. It
Yeah.
may be even clearer, but
Well, and the reason I say that too is that I have noticed this in my circles, not just myself as a Leo sun, but in with
Leo.
other Leos, where it's like we begin to see things a little bit more clearly. Like we've already had a few indications, and
hmm
now it's like, okay, now I see that those indicators were pointing me in this direction that I already pretty much knew to be true, but now I feel like this really solidifies that.
It could absolutely do that. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Right.
This card came flying out of my deck, and this keeps coming up. South Node, letting go of negative thinking. Repeat thoughts that kill it.
Mhm.
So we got to watch our thinking on this new moon.
Oh, big time, big time, big time. Okay, Virgo.
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 Virgo, this new moon is happening in your 10th house. So you've got Gemini in your 10th house, a new career, new job, new opportunity. Now, new ideas, new media projects, social media networking. You become more known. Suddenly, a new opportunity comes your way because you've been more exposed. You've been more out in the world. A relationship can come in through work, or because the 10th house can sometimes be your status changing. So you could suddenly get into a new relationship. Gemini is very much dual yin and yang, feminine and masculine. Don't forget Mars and Venus are trining. I keep forgetting all these other things that are happening to mention it, but Mars and Venus are trining, which is super positive for connections, masculine and feminine relationships. Are very harmonized right now in this Gemini new moon. That's a whole angle I left out.
Mm,
But
mm.
anyway, so that could be a relationship coming in that for Virgo. Um, but mostly it's a shall we say, some sort of a new beginning in career that liberates you, that serves humanity. Don't forget, Gemini is also a selling energy. There's selling options. You could start selling something with that energy. I should be throwing that in there. So yeah, some sort of new beginning in the career that sets you free, eventually liberates you, brings good money. You could have you could be upgraded in your work. You could get a promotion. You could start a new partnership and new business with other things going on in your chart. But we're looking at a upgrade in career.
The other piece of this that was coming through when you were talking too is the
Mhm.
um career, and also what your forward facing self, like who how you are showing up and how people perceive you when it comes to your career path, or how you are engaging with the world when it comes to your career. This isn't just like um for just willy-nilly, but it's like anything that's like your career or your legacy, something that you're passionate about. People, maybe you've had a passion project and you've been really trying to get it going, and it's been kind of like slow moving, and now there's maybe a little bit more momentum. You're continuing to post things, and you're continuing to go to events, and you're continuing to do the things, and now people perceive you differently. Now maybe they're taking you more seriously. Now maybe you got a little wind beneath your sails that launches you to that next level.
Yes. And with your ruling planet, you've got the South Node in your Virgo, right? You've got the South Node. So
Yeah.
you're really letting go an old version of yourself, an old critical negative side of yourself, or picky or petty side of yourself, or some basically aspects of yourself that are old habits, that are patterns that aren't really the version of you you want to take forward with you. And so then we've got this new beginning in your 10th house. Like you say, it could be a new version of yourself as seen in the public. You have a new identity out in the public. You're seen more. Yeah. And you start a new media project connected to your work. Say you have a job in some kind of a corporate situation, and then you realize it's going to really promote your project if you start a media Instagram on this particular, maybe you're selling a product, so you start an Instagram on it. All of that.
All of it. All that's good. All that goodness.
New innovative approaches to your career.
Yeah. So Virgos, get creative, allow that innovative outside the box thinking to come in. Okay, Libra.
Libra, 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 ruled by Venus. Venus is trining Mars, so that's a really positive energy, motivated, drive, good vibe for you. Um, Ninth house, travel. New beginnings, but can be new beginnings in awareness, knowledge, learning astrology, wanting to learn more about philosophy, wanting to have a more open-minded, to be educated on the Hermetic principles, and to suddenly realize that that's the thing that the Hermes taught us, is that how things work in the material is that there's powerful forces playing in the unseen realm. It is the unseen that creates the seen. Life is a spiritual thing because it's created by a spiritual force that's unseen. So, and the electric energy of Gemini is unseen energy. So it's coming in birthing ideas that we then put into reality, that we create and make into reality, right? So for Libra, they're having a big mind opening to realizing that the unseen forces are very important, and that to manifest and to explore, travel, open their minds, wander, um, adventures, new adventures, writing projects, very much the ninth house. Sagittarius is the ninth house. It's the tail of the horse. You know, the horse's tail tells a tale, likes to tell a tale. Storytelling. Leo does too. Leo, the two storytellers, Saggies and Leo. So maybe a Libra are ready to tell a story, write a project, expand their minds. Jupiter's been there for a while, so your mind has been expanding, opening up, very shockingly, like surprising open-mindedness happening to Libra. Basically, new beginnings in spiritual mental expansion, some sort of really spiritual new media project, advancing spirituality, knowledge of spirituality, expanded thinking, higher consciousness, some sort of media project that brings society into higher consciousness.
I just kept hearing novelty. So, when
Mhm.
you think about traveling, especially to long distance locales where it's likely a very big cultural difference. When you think about learning something new or like that higher minded kind of thinking, it's something very new to you. And so I would say for Librans, this is a great time to do something novel and different and see how that expands your mind, see how that maybe shifts your perspective about a person, a place, or a location. Yeah, it feels like it'll be a very filled with curiosity
Oh,
for
I like that word.
Libra.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And also, mind expansive. Darn it, I was thinking a word dropped my head. Whatever, it'll come back. You were just thought of something really good there, but um,
Mhm.
new beliefs. What were you just saying? Tell me what you just said again.
I was talking about novelty, about you know, just
Inspired. That's an inspired energy there. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I don't know. Sorry, Madeline.
It's all right. It'll come back if it's important.
Yeah. All right, Scorpio.
Scorpio. So, Scorpio, this is happening in your eighth house, which is the house of occult, which is the house of the unseen. Occult does not mean evil, it means hidden and unseen. So,
Yes.
you're going to have a new moon there. So, the Hermetic, the Hermes, that's all about occultism. It was all about the science of the unseen, how nature happens, the science of how reality is created, right? How the causal, how the outer stellar, what do you call it, this the sky and the stars and the universe is impacting and making things happen down here, right? So there's some sort of new beginning in the occult, in the unseen, psychology. Maybe you get a job as a therapist, psychologist. You start to study new, you start to learn about occultism, the hidden powers. It's also a house of money and resources. So it's a new beginning with joint resources with a partner. Oh, I remember what I was going to say about Libra.
Okay, let's go.
It, so there's your Libra first house. There's your Aries is your seventh house. Saturn's about to go into your seventh house. Big start for brand new relationships for Libra. Big beginnings, either in your current relationship or there's a brand new one. And these are relationships that are going to last a long time.
Oh,
All
I
right.
bet there'll be some Librans that'll be happy about that.
Yeah, Saturn there. So Scorpio, eighth house, a new relationship, a new sexual, physical, passionate relationship. These are passionate energies, Mars in Leo. Um, a new beginning in joint resources, investment, money. Maybe you decide you do want to start investing because because the investment world or money world is starting to look better. So you then take a new initiative to invest in Bitcoin or something like that. Um, Fears and clearing, so we've healed because of the Chiron Jupiter, so we're really healed of some sort of fear, some sort of debilitating eighth house fear is finally cleared up. And Gemini over their eighth house. Scorpio is the eighth house. That is Scorpio. So it's like some sort of big mind expansive understanding, deeper understanding of the nature of Scorpio, the nature of all things hidden, the nature of the dark, because it's the underlord. It's taking a look at the darkness in your soul and transforming it and knowing that because it's a transformative new moon. So there's some sort of big transformation occurring because you've had a transformation. So these are new beginnings from a new version of you that's healed some sort of major subconscious blocking of that Scorpio new moon that we just full moon.
What I've noticed for myself being this is in my, I'm Scorpio ascendant, is
Right.
is that there are pervasive thoughts and patterns, like very well-worn thought patterns that emerge in any situation where I feel a level of discomfort or not enoughness or like I don't have the skill set or the whatever it is, fill in the blank, in order to feel that sense of confidence in whatever area it is. And the thoughts that are on repeat. And I'm noticing those thoughts and how they connect to the
Yeah.
inner world and beginning to unwind them. And it's not an easy process to do, especially if you've had these running in the background for this lifetime and maybe others. So that's how it's showing up for me. And so I would imagine there may be other Scorpios out there who have noticed the same thing, or maybe they haven't noticed it, but now that I'm saying it, maybe they will. And what I'm finding that I'm doing that's been very helpful, I'm a prolific journaler, so journaling works really well for me. But what I've been doing is taking the thought, writing down the thought, and then like untangling it from my life. So if I have a thought of comparison has been a big thing that I've been noticing, and comparison in terms of trying to find a place where I can feel stable and grounded and solid, and unwinding the truth of the thought, and then also unwinding the root of the comparison to begin with. And that is slowly transforming, but that's been really helpful for me to put it down on the
Yeah.
page and be able to see it. So that may be helpful for others as well.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking for Scorpio, who are obsessive by nature anyway, and then to have Gemini over your eighth house, that really doesn't help, does it? It's like, talk about obsessive thinking. I mean, the mind just goes, you know.
Yeah, it's been tough, but I also found it to be helpful in that I feel like some things are being highlighted in order to be unwound. And we'll see how it plays out as we go on in the next 2 weeks, because we're not even really fully there yet. We're getting there. We're very, very close, but we're not, it's just beginning. We're just
It
stepping into that.
really literally is. Everything is just beginning. I mean, I literally think this new moon is the initiation of the new. I mean, I know we say this all the time, but we really are cleared now of the past. Like it's kind of like that. We're halfway, and now the past we're more towards the future than like before. We were still more in the past, dealing with the past stuff, clearing up past karma, untangling North. Now we're right here. We're releasing this last tangle. Saturn does go retrograde, and so does Neptune. If there's anything up for clearing, then that karma is all untangled, all knots, clearing things, clearing our emotional body with Mars, Cancer, Chiron square. And now here we are. Like this is it. Now we're
Mhm,
at that point.
mhm.
Saturn 0 degrees Aries, first sign, first degree of the zodiac cycle. Boom. Now we're past halfway point. We're going forward. We can't it's further to go back than it is to go further.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's right. It's like we've passed the
And
halfway
in
point, the
between. Yep.
threshold of that. Yeah.
And now
As we
it's
go forward.
yep, we're going to begin this new chapter, this new paradigm, this new life. It's all starting. It's all these yang energies. I mean, it's crazy. I'm
All
kind of
right.
excited.
Well,
I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm tired of reflecting.
yeah.
I
I mean, it's still
mean, it's
important to
good. It's
reflect, but
important.
we don't need to dwell in it,
Yeah,
get stuck in it.
exactly. Yeah, we
Yeah.
want to keep moving forward. These are moving forward energies, no doubt about it. Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. You're going to have a good year. Sagittarians are going to have a great year because their ruling planet is in exaltation in the sign of Cancer. And well, actually, for Sagittarius, right. For Sagittarius, it's in your seventh house of relationships.
Yep.
I should have twisted the wheel so that Gemini wasn't right behind me. So, anyway, Sagittarius, seventh house.
Well, and
Seventh,
also the wheel is like kind of a
is it?
mirror image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
keep, then when I post it, it flips. That's why I flipped it. Because then when I post it, it shows the other way.
oh, well, for mine, it won't.
It won't.
Yeah, because I have it set. Yeah.
I'm
That's
so
okay.
dyslexic with stuff like that. I'm like, what? Anyway, okay.
People
Sag
get the idea.
yeah. Seventh house, soul contracted situations coming in, new beginnings in media projects, business collaboratives, you could get a new client. The seventh house is clients. You can get a new client. That anything that happens on this new moon is really a big part of the new beginnings that Aries Saturn is causing in our lives, because we're going to be initiating this new moon brings us the new beginnings that Saturn is going to evolve in our next 3 years, 2 to 3 years. So so this new beginning is in a project related media writing, a law client, a law case, or a new client, or of course romantic relationship, partnership,
Mhm.
marriage type of thing. Communication, a lot of busy communication. ideas, a project, a passion project. You could have a child. Mercury is children. I keep forgetting to mention that. A lot of romance with that Mars and Venus trine. I mean, that could be some very fiery, passionate experiences here for Sagittarians. If you're already in a relationship and the relationship could get really passionate, really fired up right now, and you get very excited about some new beginning to initiate together, a joint soul contracted type thing coming in. Um, all
Mhm.
of these new beginnings are dharmic, are where really most people are on their dharma path right now. So, and this is creative energy, writing, I mentioned, outside the box thinking, expanded a whole new idea to take your life with your relationship. Like it's a whole new, shall we say, story in your relationship, and a creative collaborative adventure that you go on together, basically.
Yeah,
And it's
I was
pretty
picking up
auspicious. Yeah.
I was picking up on something similar too. It's a mindset shift of both partners, of both people, not just
Mhm,
one.
mhm,
So where that actually allows a relationship to flourish or to even come into full existence because there's a shift, a mental shift for both people. Um,
that healing that's occurred through because Jupiter's your ruling planet and it's sextiling Chiron. So there is some sort of healing because with Jupiter sextiling Chiron, we're healing our courage, our lack of initiative abilities, or our inabilities to take initiatives is being healed. We're taking more
mhm.
initiative, more motive, more drive, more confidence, believing in ourselves. Jupiter's all about having faith, all that stuff. So healed, coming from new beginnings, coming from very healed strength, empowered versions of ourselves.
Nice, 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 nice. Okay, Capricorn.
Moving along, we're hitting our goal to be quicker here. Okay,
Well,
Capricorn.
at least for today. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know how that will be going forward, but
yeah, that's why there's so much to talk about. We can't put it all in. By the way, if you ever want to do a version of this or something, and we talk about the Hermetic principles, something we should consider.
I love that because I've actually been studying that myself. So
Oh,
great.
yeah, let's do it. Let's do a
Yeah.
podcast together and
Yeah.
discuss it and
Discuss.
chat.
Keep our chat going.
Gemini chit chatty, yeah. Okay, Capricorn, you guys have this in your sixth house, new moon in Gemini in your sixth house. So, new beginning in your day-to-day routine. I remember when I had a new moon in my sixth house. This is really crazy. This was 2016 or 17. I'd been doing tarot reading and stuff, but I had never done it. I'd been mostly working at other places, and I don't know, something happened where I started doing it online, and I started just doing things on Zoom or on computer. And it was just like my whole life changed, my routine, no longer going out to work, going out to places to work. Suddenly I was at home working. So it's like these new routines coming in that changes your whole life, your day to day, the way you live on a day to day. Like you get a new job that works, for instance, online, like I said, and you because it's Aquarius and it's media, again, a media of type of a thing, business proposals, business ideas, but that literally shift your everyday. Like say you've been at home, now you start work showing up somewhere every day at 3 o'clock to 10 o'clock or something. But basically your life pattern changes, new beginning, and it's a project that's very inspiring. It could be a writing project. Again, writers often can have planets in the sixth house. It's a Virgo house with Gemini there. It could very well be a media project. Or you just decide to, um, shall we say, be more disciplined about a new beginning in discipline, be more disciplined about something, exercising every day, waking up early and meditating every day, or waking up early every day, meditating before you start your job, so then you get better ideas. Because remember, this is Hermes here wanting us to connect with the solar sun for higher minded solutions and knowledge. And so some sort of new idea, higher knowledge, breakthrough that changes your routine. It's a breakthrough energy because that sixth house can be a very challenging. It's not an easy house. So it sort of breaks through some sort of struggle, some sort of hard time is sort of opened up, and you're freed of it. Because it's a new beginning, it's a positive new beginning in an area where there's been a struggle. That is a solution to that struggle. So it's been an everyday struggle. Now there's a new beginning that solves it.
Ah, that feels really nice.
You could be quitting something, remember six health, quitting something too, or new healthy routine.
Yeah, I just kept for Capricorn, what really just kept coming up for me as you were talking about that is a new mindset, a new perspective that you have around your day-to-day life that will influence your health and well-being. So
Mhm.
it's like just a simple shift that can create a big impact for you.
Yes, I like that. Not being negative thinking, changing your daily mental patterns,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is what's so important as we're studying with Hermes and that logic, the mind, the most important thing, that idea that comes in or that mind that's how everything manifests. As above, so below. So whatever thinking you have, you're going to manifest.
Bam, there you go. Done.
Hence the energy of Aquarius. As very much the energies of as above, because Aquarius is the fifth dimension, the highest dimension. If you look at each one of these as a dimension, this is the first dimension, second, very, very lower dimensional. Then we start to go up to the higher dimensions. That's the 11th dimension, the 12th dimension, right there by source. So Aquarius is up here, the 11th dimension. It's the 5D. So when we're in a really higher, when we're in the 5D right now, because that's where we're in the age of Aquarius, what you think manifests snap. Make it, you can manifest very fast. So that's why you want to really watch your mind. So for Aquarius, this is going to happen in their fifth house. Fantastic. New moon in your fifth house. This new moon, writing project, media projects, production, performing, creative projects, entrepreneurial ventures, a new friends, a very much new relationships. If you're single right now, you meet your person, you meet a new person, you get into a co-collaborative venture with them, or you can get pregnant if you're of that focus. And also pregnancy is a metaphor for creating something out of nothing. That's a fifth house new moon, creating something out of nothing. That it was just that nothing was there before. Again, fifth house is the mind too. It's very intelligent. It's a very brilliant, this is a very intelligent new moon being in Gemini anyway. So these are very intelligent, higher creative projects that are more consciously advanced. We're really progressing here with humanity. We're progressing into higher minded stuff. So this is like some sort of idea media project that expands and higher minds the people, brings people to higher minded awareness. But there's a creative joy, fun, playful, not serious energy about it. Saturn, your ruling planet, is in the energy of Aries, which again is a bit of a playful energy, a bit of a not so serious energy in a way. So, your ruling planet Uranus is about to move into Gemini too. There's a lot to be said about that when that happens, which really, wow, we're really going to talk about technological racing development and ideas and all that kind of stuff. So don't forget this idea, whatever we start now, when Uranus meets this point, boom. When Uranus meets 6 degrees of Aries, we're going to see this idea, this new beginning expand very rapid.
You know when that's occurring?
I can find out.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll tell you.
and
Exactly.
while you're doing that too, the other part of this too that I think, you touched it on like kids, the potential for pregnancy, things like that.
Yeah.
But there could also be a shift in your perspective around your children.
Yeah.
So, there are a number of people that I know who have a, how do I want to say this? Be careful with the choice of words that I use here. Maybe so, okay, I'll go with this example. Maybe you're somebody who has thought all along, I don't want kids. And this may be a change of perspective where you decide to open up your mind to the possibility of maybe having kids.
You might just end up pregnant. And
That
then you
could
go,
solve,
well, I
yes.
guess I'm having kids. Yeah, because that new Uranus is nearby, so things can happen in surprising ways.
Yes. Yeah. So
So
when did
I
you
could
find
get
the
pregnant
timing?
on this. What? Oh,
Do you
yeah.
find the
So
timing?
basically, yeah, Uranus is going to go retrograde here. I'm going to quickly show the chart and explain to everybody when this happens here. So Uranus is going to go retrograde on September 22nd, right? So it's going to go retrograde till then it goes back into Taurus for a little bit, and then it's going to go direct again, and then it's going to go, so it's going to hit this degree point of where we are now in August of next year.
Hmm.
So we're going to see rapid expansion of this idea. We might have to go back and work on it more, go back on it because we got the retrograde hitting this time next year, right? So then we go retrograde. I'll tell you exactly when it really goes. I know it feels like a long time, but it's actually you're when you you'll be fed, you'll be fed. We'll all be taking there'll these ventures grow financially steady. But then you get this sort of, I'm talking about when do you feel financially liberated from it?
Aha.
Because I bought my property on you I knew because Uranus moved into Taurus in May 15th, 2018. That's the day I bought my property land because I knew it would liberate me financially by the end of its transit there in the 8 years, which it totally has. Like it's been amazing. So So now we're looking at, but up until then, I was financially sustained, financially sustained. It was great. I mean, it was okay. It was building and stability. And Uranus is always trying to build us stability. It's crazy, but it does. So anyway, by this time, June 6th, so in 2 years from now, this new idea will liberate us financially.
Interesting. And that's for everyone, not just Aquarians.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And you want to initiate something really abundant. Reach for something that could make you good money potentially, because then you'll be very rich. You could be very, very rich.
That I think everyone is looking for, I'm not gonna say everyone, but most people are
Most.
looking for that level of financial liberation and comfort where they can do the things that they want to do, provide for themselves and their family. Ideally, I feel like it's great. You know, we're also giving and helping others and lifting each other up in whatever ways that we're able. I mean, that to me is like the ideal scenario.
That is basically the theme of Aquarius is live free or die. Live free or death. I'd rather be dead. Either I live free or I die. That is the age of Aquarius.
There we go. All right. Well,
Heavy sounding, but it's literally what is written.
let's wrap it up here with Pisces after that big Aquarian energy that we just talked about.
And by the way, you don't die. You live. If you
Yes.
have that belief, the universe is right behind you. Okay, Pisces.
Pisces.
Okay, so Pisces happening in your fourth house, new moon, new living situation. Yay, my son. Everybody, my son, because he's a Pisces rising. New moon, new living situation. He's totally homeless right now. He doesn't even know where to live. He's like, Mom, I'm homeless. I'm like, great.
Oh,
Ugh, so such a pain in the butt. Anyway, be positive thinking.
yes.
New auspicious new moon for Pisces, a new place to live, new joint media projects. Um, Again, because it's like, how do we mix that Mercury energy with home? Well, it's a new beginning, probably comes to you through connections, but you could get a new, let's say, opportunity to live somewhere that also connects you, that's around people that you're going to work with or joint, or you move in with a partner, you move in with your true person, your partner, and you start to work at home on a media project together. You have child, new moon, fourth house can have a baby, expand your family, new beginning there. Selling, Gemini is a selling energy. You could buy a property, sell a property, um, sign a contract. Gemini's contracts, Mercury's contracts, sign a contract on renting a new property. I already said that. What else could I do? New ideas about, let's say you want to build or change your home, a new idea in your home, a new idea to create a media room or to turn a room into an office and run a business from your home. Um, New expansive ideas, new ideas about where you want to live. Maybe you suddenly decide you do know where you want to go, or like me traveling to Italy, or you decide to move and travel.
The other piece of this that I was hearing also relates to your mother, your ancestry, like,
Yes.
maybe your perspective on your mother and where you come from shifts. And that
Yep.
allows you an opportunity to maybe, go to Italy because now you realize you have relatives there you didn't know that you had, or maybe you were like, so like, USA is the best. I don't want to go anywhere else. And then you go, oh, well, maybe I'm going to go and visit my long lost relatives in Italy, something like that. So it
Yeah.
like something that related to your your mother specifically and your ancestry, like your lineage.
Yeah, I have a Pisces moon, so I could hear from a friend that has an opportunity of somewhere I could rent in Europe or something, word
Yeah,
of mouth could come through and some sort of an opportunity or um yeah, that would
something.
enable me to move. That would be great.
So something interesting that happened. I didn't say anything because I wasn't sure if I was going to receive information for each sign. But even though I didn't have my cards, I was shown a flower for every single sign and I wrote it down as we went. So I'm just going to share not necessarily the information about it, but just the flower, because I don't want to take too much time here doing that. But and then if anyone is interested in learning more about the flower, you can go to the Lotus Way website or just search it online and receive the message that you specifically need for that flower. So really quickly, Aries was the geranium, Taurus, magnolia, Gemini, golden columbine, Cancer, bamboo, Leo, red hibiscus, Virgo, yellow prickly pear, Libra, wild hawkweed, Scorpio, black bat flower.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes. Sagittarius, Icelandic lichen, or lichen, Lichen, for anyone who wants to look that up. Capricorn, the peony. The peony that I was shown was like this bright fuchsia, almost red color, not pink, which is what it usually looks like in the card. So that color makes a difference. Aquarius, Grevillea, and Pisces, the saguaro cactus
So
flower.
these just came to you in the words? Wow. You're
So
psychic.
while we were talking, like, yeah, I was shown a flower for each one. So there was one I couldn't place the name of it. So I was like trying to find it. And then all of a sudden it just popped in. So I was like, oh,
Wow.
okay, well, great. And because I never did find it. Um, but yeah, so those are the flowers for everyone. So a little bit of a different,
Interesting that you did it that way.
yeah, not on purpose, just
So
the way,
when we were talking about Scorpio, you just saw the bat flower thing, the
yes,
bat one?
yes. And I kind of like smiled to myself, like, of course.
I was thinking about that card the other day and just laughing how when we pick it up, you go, oh, oh no, oh, oh.
So sorry for anyone who this is your flower, but it's a great flower. I mean, it really,
Transformational.
yes, it's so catalyzing. So it's a good one. It's just when you see it, there's going to be stuff. So that's just it.
There's going to be some stuff. That's
Yeah,
hysterical.
you do. You definitely do.
Oh,
So
yeah.
anyway, so yeah, so that was our abridged, but not as abridged,
Yep.
but version of the cosmic chat. Madeline, do you have any last thoughts before we wrap it up?
Just, it's time to have fun, witty time. Gemini's witty, good times, new beginnings, leaving the past behind of the stuff, all that stuff in our past
Stuff.
is we're leaving it behind and we're making some fresh new beginnings. I mean, it's a very optimistic. I love this new moon.
Oh,
Good times
nice.
to be had, fun.
All right. So everyone get out there, have a good time. I agree. I think it's, especially embarking on this kind of playful season, with the, you know, uh,
Leo Mars.
kind of the shift in the United States anyway on Memorial Day. I mean, even though that's a somber commemorative day, it is kind of that shift into summer, that more summertime
Yep.
vibe, the more playful vibe. So,
Yep.
really, I would say, takes a little time on Monday for some reflection because it's a new moon. That's always a good inner journey time. And then go forth, have some
Yep.
fun.
Just
You
watch your vibrational of your thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Because the thoughts and action are the same thing. So thoughts turn into action. So if you have positive thoughts, they turn into positive action.
And there's also thoughts that are happening that you're not necessarily consciously aware of, but your outside circumstances will reveal it to you. So
Yeah.
be aware of that as well. Well, Madeline and I thank you all for being here with us. Those of you who have been with us live, we knew your presence was there. Thank you so much for staying this whole time. And
Did anybody ask any questions?
no questions, no
Okay,
questions,
well,
but
glad they
that's
were
okay.
there. Yep.
That's okay. We know you were there. Please do give the Cosmic Chat a like wherever you find us, and follow, subscribe. Feel free to ask any questions. We'll answer if we are able. I mean, if you ask too specific questions around your specific birth chart, it's going to be a little bit more challenging for us to give you a more of an accurate reading. That's when you set up a session with Madeline, or reach out to me to get a little bit of a outside of the astrology perspective. If you want to kind of pull some things together, that's where Madeline and I both come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're here to be of assistance. So thank you all for joining us. Thanks for being here with us. And we will see you in a couple weeks. Bye for now.
Bye.